I have lost feeling in my foot. But the show must go on. Hey yo, and welcome back to my channel where I talk about writer things, parent things, and writer-parent things. This week I'm going to be talking about the Nope Tropes Family Edition. Before we get started, if you would like to stay up to date on all things Sam, you can sign up to my newsletter in the link down below. If you like this video, I would appreciate a thumbs up, maybe a comment to help the algorithm, and if you like this channel, you like my content, a subscription and ring-a-ding that bell would be super awesome. And a little disclaimer that, as always, all of my videos are based on my personal experiences, thoughts, research, etc. So, you know, these tropes, they're my opinions. You can agree, you can disagree. I don't really care. Alright, on to the video. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and acknowledge for this trope and a lot of the following tropes is that a lot of negative family tropes do in fact have a basis in reality. However, this is my Nope Trope list about things I don't want to see, read, or watch. So I'm starting off with when families are really just shitty to each other and it's normalized in whatever the universe is. Or it's a plot device specifically just to fuck with the MC. You know, like, yeah, mom and dad don't care about their kids' feelings at all. And siblings, yes, they're gonna fight, like huge big blowout fights. Might be a little abusive, but you know what? That's just how siblings are. After all, if you're not bloodying each other's noses, are they even related? Let's not forget that those cousins coming over for dinner, you gotta watch them because they're probably gonna steal some shit. Am I right? And we're not even going to get started on the creepy uncle. Like, yeah, I get it. Families can be fucked up and dysfunctional, and there are families out there that are like that. But could we at least demonize it in the narrative, make it clear that this isn't okay? That's all I want. And if not, well, I mean, I can just put the book down, change the channel, and that's what I'm gonna do. Speaking of normalized fucked up shit, can we just stop with the over-possessive male family members acting like their female family members are little porcelain dolls that are gonna tarnish if they so much as kiss somebody? These men are not just protective. They're not just looking out for their family members. No. In fact, oftentimes the lengths that they're willing to go to just incite sheer terror in the people that they are trying to protect. It's fucked up. And a super toxic family dynamic. Can we just no. You know what I think would actually be a lot more interesting to see? That would be supportive and protective family members. Such as, say, a big brother sees that his little sister has gotten into a fight with her boyfriend. So he goes to her SO and he's all like, hey, you know what? She likes strawberry cake. You should talk to her. Because he doesn't like seeing his little sister sad, but he gets that like threatening her boyfriend isn't really gonna help the situation. I mean, I don't think I asked for much, but who knows? You know, this one really annoys me in kind of a special way, and I can't exactly pinpoint why, but it's also a very female-specific trope. And it's the idea that as women get older and they start to gray and their hair turns silver and they lose what society considers to be their beauty, they get very angry and resentful towards the younger, prettier generations of their family and seek to make their lives a living hell. And while I know that some people are going to be like, well, Sam, those kinds of women actually exist. Well, you know what? I don't personally actually know any. In fact, usually from what I see, it's the exact opposite, and that older women in a family become really proud of their daughters, nieces, granddaughters, etc., for their looks and for what that they've inherited. Like in my family, women will be like, ah, yes, she gets that from our side of the family. That's the Nasset nose. We all have it. And it's like, okay. It's just a super toxic and shitty trope and really bad representation, in my opinion. Stop portraying women so shallow that we cannot love our offspring because they're prettier than we are. It's just stupid. There's a weird thing that happens sometimes with sibling plots, and it's like, here, we've got these siblings, and these siblings are close, though they have their issues. And what is this? It's another long-lost sibling. Which, up to this point, I'm perfectly fine with this. In fact, most of the time, I really like that and am intrigued as to where it's going to take the story and how their dynamics are gonna go. I like the drama, the tension, the what? What I don't like is when the narrative suddenly forgets that the sibling exists and they drop out of the plot, and I'm like, it wasn't just me. There was another brother, right? Like, he was there, he existed. I'm like, why? Why did you bring them in just for them to vanish and everyone to forget that this sibling was there? And I extra hate it when I happen to like the long-lost sibling better than the others. Like, bring them back. Why did you do this to me? So I'd like to go ahead and provide a trigger warning for a little bit of abuse mention here. I'm going to put a timestamp on the screen so that you can just skip on over to Trope 6 if you don't want to listen to this section. Alright, and I'm starting now. Alright, so first I would like to make it clear that I do not prescribe to the idea that just because somebody is older than me, I need to give them more respect than I do other people. I give people a general level of respect, which they can earn more of or lose based on our interactions and their own actions, as was taught to me. Now, I do believe that the people who raised me or were just parental authoritative figures in my life deserve a little bit more respect than, most people. This is in part because I don't really have any shitty parental figures. I feel like they all did a pretty good job, and I'm pretty grateful for them. So, with that out the way, I really, really don't like elderly abuse in, any media. I don't see it a whole lot, and thankfully, usually when I do see it, the people doing it are demonized, or it's, used as a plot thing to be like, oh shit, these people are really shitty. They hurt little old people. But it's still not a trope I enjoy, and I tend to gravitate toward media without it. Again, I get that this can be a thing in reality. However, we're talking about my fictional trope preferences. I get really irked when I see a kind, gentle, nice parent who has a spoiled, rotten brat that takes them for granted and absolutely takes advantage of them. It's even worse when the bratty child is a full-grown adult and they will, berate and disrespect their parent just because they can get away with it. And you know what? It makes me want to go through the TV or into the book or whatever, just cross that universal line and have words with them. For fuck's sake, I get on to my kids if I don't like the way they said what to somebody. No fictional child should be disrespecting this sweet, kind, and thoughtful fictional parent in my presence. And everybody is going to criticize the parent. But by the time a child is an adult, you can fucking teach yourself to know better. And usually, this is a single parent who's just trying to make ends meet and get by and do the best that they can. I know it's not real. I know it's stories. But I have feelings, and they are very strong. And yes, I know that parents should parent up and discipline their children and teach them better, but blah, 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 blah. But sometimes there is only so much one can do, especially when it's in fiction, so the writer could have very easily just not made the child a brat in the first place. Although if it is, in the storyline, just a case of it's a really shitty parent and now their child is a spoiled brat. I don't like that either, but that's a different case. I have a special place in hell for this trope. You see, the incest trope can burn on the blazing surface of the sun. Just know, And there are, unfortunately, many people, far too many, way too many people, who will defend this trope, citing historical accuracy. Well, let me tell you something. Stories right now are being written for a modern audience. Therefore, historical accuracy will only get one so far. And when writing a historical fiction, you're already fudging history quite a bit. Let's just take that part out too. And if it's in fantasy or sci-fi or any of those related genres, what the fuck's historical accuracy got to do with any of it? It's made up. It's just, this trope can just burn. Burn it now. And keep it far, 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 far away from me. So here's the thing. This trope could have been masterfully well written. In fact, it could have even been woven so artistically and amazingly into a narrative, and this narrative goes on to be my favorite story of all time. And hell, I might even use this trope on occasion. That's not going to stop me from putting it on this list because it's my list, and as we all know, I do what I want. But you see, here's the thing about parents and children. We have our children, we raise our children, presumably we get to see them grow and prosper and enjoy their own lives, do whatever they want, have kids of their own, don't have kids of their own, I don't care. Either way, point is, I die first, and then they go on to do whatever they do. That's how it's supposed to go. Whenever I see a narrative in which a parent has to outlive a child, it immediately hits me somewhere in the feels. And like, how dare media make me feel my own feels? So rude. But at the same time, like I said, I do enjoy using this trope, and there are some stories that I really like that have it. So I'm not gonna call for an end to this trope. I'm just gonna whine about it because I also hate when it's used. So I'm a complex, complicated person. Hey, yeah, editing Sam here. I should probably add in that while this trope is about parent and child, when an older sibling survives their younger sibling, that actually makes me cry. And I probably should have put that on here instead, but I wasn't thinking about it until I was watching the edit, so yeah, just a little food for thought there. Speaking of parents, as we all should know, I am not against dead parents. I'm not even against absent or neglectful parents. What I am against is, where are the parents? Parents that are just not there or gone or uninvolved without giving any reason? I mean, fuck, it does not take that much effort or narrative time to just be like, oh, they travel a lot, or, you know, they're always busy with work. Oh, you know, what happened to your dad? Oh, he dead. Oh, what about your mom? Oh, see, because my dad's dead, my mom's working all the time. See, right there, I'm told why we are never going to see these parents in the narrative, and it makes sense. We can move on with our day. Otherwise, I'm very distractedly wondering, where are your parents? Why are you in the wilds of the world without any sort of parental support system? Yes, this is a critique that is more geared toward, like, younger MCs, so, you know, probably more middle grade fiction, but I read everything, so I'm gonna whine about it. Alright everyone, that's all the whining I got for you this week. Did you not like any of these tropes with me? Let me know in the comments down below. If you want to stay updated on all things Sam, you can sign up to my newsletter, linked in the description down below. If you liked this video, if you like my content, I would absolutely appreciate a subscribe, maybe ring-a-ding that bell so you are always notified when I upload or when I go live on my Monday live streams at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Hey, I talk about writing a lot. Maybe you want to know if I actually know how to write. I have samples on my website at samanthaalnasset.com, and you can stalk my social media too, at Samantha L. Nasset on Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, and Facebook. Well, that's the end of that, so it's time for Sam out. See you soon.